All right, let's talk about something big that's happening right now in the world of artificial intelligence. It's this massive pivot, right? From an AI that just gives you answers to one that actually starts taking action. And believe me, this is already reshaping entire industries. So let's get into it and break down what's really going on. We have all gotten pretty used to AI as this sort of creative buddy, right? It can whip up an email for you, design a logo, maybe even generate a video. But honestly, that's just the warm-up act. The real game changer, the big transformation, starts when AI stops just showing us things and starts doing things for us. Okay, so look at this slide because it perfectly captures the whole shift we're talking about. Over on the left, you've got the AI we know and use today. It's basically an information processor. But then you look at the right, and that's the future. It's an autonomous agent. Think of it like a digital employee that can handle really complex, multi-step jobs all on its own. This is that leap. And let's be clear, this leap from knowing to doing, it isn't just some small upgrade. No, we're talking about a massive tectonic shift for the entire industry. It's forcing all the major players to completely rethink, well, everything. Their products, how they use their resources, their entire vision for what's next. You want a perfect example of this? Just look at what happened with OpenAI's Sora. I mean, for months, that thing was the ultimate showcase, right? A dazzling display of AI's creative genius. But then, the company's move made something crystal clear. The industry as a whole is pivoting away from just cool spectacles and doubling down on practical, integrated tools. And that wasn't just some random decision they made. It was all driven by some pretty harsh strategic realities. First off, the cost to run these giant models at that scale, it was just completely unsustainable. But even more importantly, OpenAI is now pointing all that immense computing power toward building real, practical, enterprise-ready tools. And, of course, chasing that ultimate goal of AGI. It's all about consolidation and focus. That's the name of the game now. So all of this brings us right to the heart of the matter, agentic AI. The best way to think about it is moving from a simple chatbot to a digital surrogate. This is an agent that can actually operate on your behalf. It can navigate software, make little judgment calls, and see entire projects through from start to finish, all while you're focused on other things. This is the new frontier everyone is racing to conquer. Yeah, and this race, this sprint toward agentic AI has basically turned the whole tech landscape into a fierce battleground. And the speed of innovation, it is just absolutely breathtaking. I mean, just take a look at this timeline from back in March of 2026. In a tiny window of just 23 days, we saw five major new frontier models get released by all the top labs. The pace is just staggering. Seriously, what used to take a year to develop is now happening in a matter of weeks. So what's the impact of all this? Well, it's profound. First, any competitive edge one lab might have over another, well, that lead can now be measured in days, not months or years. And second, and this is the really important part, all of these new models are laser-focused on one single goal, creating reliable, autonomous agents that can handle high-stakes business tasks. The whole industry is rowing in the exact same direction. Okay, so to really see what this looks like on the ground, let's zoom in and look at a specific case study, the massive reorganization that's happening right now in financial services. And we're not just talking about adopting a new piece of software here. We're talking about completely reshaping the entire organization from the ground up. And believe me, this isn't some theoretical what-if exercise. Analysts are already projecting that something like 200,000 banking jobs in Europe alone could be impacted as these institutions totally redesign their workforce around AI. The big takeaway? This change isn't coming soon. It is happening right now. And this image, it just brilliantly illustrates the core change that's happening. See, it used to be that a company would restructure its teams and then bolt on some new technology. But now, it's the technology itself, these intelligent, self-adapting AI systems, that's actually dictating the new shape of the company. The tech comes first, and the human structure is forced to adapt around it. It's a total flip. And in the world of finance, this is getting supercharged by another piece of tech, stablecoins. Now, these are basically digital currencies that are pegged to a stable asset, like the US dollar. So what you get is this incredible 1-2 punch. The AI makes the smartest decision. And then this new financial plumbing, the stablecoins, lets that decision be executed instantly anywhere on the planet, with zero of the old school friction. Let's make this even more concrete. Take a workflow like anti-money laundering, or AML. In the old days, a human analyst did all the grunt work. Now the AI agent handles the first 3 steps automatically. It sucks in thousands of alerts, generates a summary for each case, and then recommends a specific action. So the human's role? It's completely shifted. You're no longer the investigator. You're the final validator, the one who signs off on the machine's work. Okay, so a massive shift like this, it doesn't just happen in a vacuum, right? Let's pull back out and take a look at the bigger picture. The new infrastructure being built, the new rules of the road being written, and of course, the major roadblocks that could stop all of this in its tracks. You want to know where things are really headed? Just follow the money. It's a huge indicator. As you can see from this chart, both investors and big corporations are completely shifting their focus. They're not just throwing money at flashy new AI apps anymore. Nope. They are acquiring and investing huge amounts into the core infrastructure. We're talking data platforms, compliance tools, all the digital plumbing that's needed to actually run this new age of agentic AI. And what's really interesting is that for maybe the first time ever, regulators are actually trying to keep pace with innovation. You've got initiatives like the White House National AI Policy Framework, which are trying to create a unified set of rules for things like safety, privacy, and accountability. So instead of playing catch-up, governments are actually trying to build the guardrails in real time. But when you really get down to it, the single biggest roadblock to this entire future, it isn't the algorithms and it's not even the regulations, it's the data. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? You could have the most brilliant AI system on the planet, but if the data you feed it is incomplete or biased or just flat out wrong, the whole thing just falls apart. Trust in the data. That is everything. So, okay, after looking at all this, what does this new autonomous age really demand from us? If we're going to navigate this successfully, it really just boils down to a few key principles. Because at the end of the day, success isn't just about having the flashiest, most powerful AI. You need a solid organizational structure, or it'll never scale. You need data you can actually trust, or it won't last. And you absolutely need clear governance, or it'll never survive out there in the real world. The technology, by itself, it's simply not enough. Which, of course, leaves us with one final big thought. This transformation is not on the horizon. It's already happening. We are moving from an age where AI just gives us insights to a new one where it takes action. So the real question for all of us is, are we ready? Are our companies, our governments, our own skills, are we actually prepared to absorb what's coming next?